Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe if you haven't already. All that good stuff, you know the deal. Today I want to debut a new segment that I'm calling Guilty Pleasures. Guilty Pleasures to me means that albums that aren't in the norm of what I usually collect. So it'd be way far left from the Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, Kiss realm, you know, that kind of stuff. This would be stuff where you kind of go, oh, that's odd that he would have that or he's into that. So today I'm not even just doing one album as a guilty pleasure. I'm doing a whole genre as a guilty pleasure. And that guilty pleasure is arena rock. Arena rock, also known in radio and the record business as AOR. They called it album-oriented rock, but I prefer arena rock. That kind of gives you what it really means. Some people also call it corporate rock. You know, you can call it whatever you want. Anyway, what it means is music that is... let me put it this way. If you ever watch any Rocky movie, if you watch Rocky 4, the band Survivor, all their great songs that are in there. You have Robert Tepper, No Easy Way Out, John Cafferty, Hearts on Fire. So those kind of like 80s montage sort of songs is what arena rock is really all about, that you could put in any 80s movie montage scene. Basically, it was manufactured music to be ready-made for FM radio and to be a hit song. So it would have very catchy hooks. It would have very, very slick production, lots of keyboards, synthesizers, really rock guitar, the right length of song, and very made to reach a big rock fan base, which is hence the word corporate rock, I guess. So I looked up a list here. I have a list here of the top arena rock bands of all time. Then I'll show you some records too that I have in conjunction with that list. But the first thing I wanted to show you was obviously we talked about Rocky 4. Survivor was a big band, you know, that did Eye of the Tiger and a lot of songs for the Rocky films. This album is called Caught in the Game, and this is my favorite Survivor album that they did. I really like this one. But yeah, going back to the list, the number one AOR arena rock band of all time, hands down on any list, is Journey. Don't Stop Believin' would probably be like the quintessential arena rock tune. So these 80s albums that they did, be it Escape, Frontiers, Raised on Radio, those ones are really staples of arena rock. Next biggest arena rock band, hands down, is Boston. Boston, it was manufactured to be hit songs, hit after hit. Every song on the album is a hit song. The production is flawless. It's slick. You see the guys in the back there. Nice. And so this album has sold, you know, 80 bajillion copies, and it sounds awesome. You know, like I said, the production's great, and definitely want to have in your collection is the first Boston album. Next, I have Def Leppard, Hysteria. Definitely, if you watch the classic albums on Def Leppard, Hysteria, they talk about that they wanted to beat Michael Jackson's Thriller in terms of hit songs. They definitely did it here. I think there's like 7 #1 singles or something like that on this album, sold a bajillion copies, and big arena rock tour they did for this, where they were in the round in the arenas, and definitely huge arena rock album in my collection. Next band is Bon Jovi. Definitely Slippery When Wet is huge arena rock. I mean, even the first song on the album, Let It Rock, is just huge with that organ that comes in. And you got You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer, Wanted Dead or Alive, Raise Your Hands, Wild in the Streets. So definitely that's huge. That's a huge one. Another one I wanted to point out here that doesn't get a lot of people don't know about is Eldo Nova. Eldo Nova is a singer-songwriter out of Canada, I believe. This came out in 1982, and just a really, it's an awesome album. I remember listening to this as a kid, probably 5, 6 years old. I remember this cassette being in the house and loving the song. The song Fantasy is really what it's known for. Still played on radio today, but the whole album is really good. And right after this album, he would go on to work on the first Bon Jovi album with John. Probably my favorite arena rock album of all time is Glenn Hughes, Pat Thrall. Hughes Thrall came out in 1982. Not well known by any means, but definitely a classic. The songwriting is phenomenal. The production's phenomenal. Andy Johns producing on this one, who worked with Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, a lot of people. And just go on YouTube, check this out. And if you're into arena rock, you're into the stuff I've shown already, I think you're gonna like this one. Another huge band on the list of arena rock, Toto. Obviously, we know Toto 4, which has Africa, Rosanna, big arena rock band, sold millions upon millions of records. This one I like that came out in 1988, sort of the peak of arena rock, and this is the 7th one by Toto. And just unbelievably catchy, hooky songs, slick production, lots of keyboards, horns. So it's one to pick up. I really like this one. The vocals on it are unbelievable. Very good. A band that, I don't see this band on arena rock lists too much, but I'm going to put it on here. I'm making the decision because I just think when you have songs like Dreams, Love Walks In, I definitely think that Van Halen's 5150 is an arena rock record. I mean, I know it's a little more on the hard rock side, but when you have those keyboard songs in there, I definitely think that I would consider this an AOR, very radio friendly record of the time. And same can be said with the follow up to that one, which is OU812 Van Halen, which has, When It's Love, big arena rock song, Feel So Good, Finish What You Started. Definitely great album there. Another one on the heavier side, but I looked at it and I couldn't leave it out, is Whitesnake. A little promo copy there. And definitely arena rock here. Another one of these albums where like every song was a hit. Here I Go Again, Still the Night, Is This Love, big, huge arena rock power ballad, right? So definitely wanted to put Whitesnake in the mix there. Like we talked about Journey, definitely AOR to the max, radio friendly, slick production to the max is Raised on Radio 1986. Definitely influential in terms of Steve Perry's solo album Street Talk, which came out a few years before this came out. This is sort of the continuation of that, and really where Steve Perry sort of takes the reins of the band and puts them in a real AOR pop direction. Trevor Rabin, Can't Look Away. This is a great album. 1989. Trevor Rabin was as a guitar player, songwriter, vocalist for Yes in the 80s on the album 90125, like Owner of a Lonely Heart, songs like that on that album. This came out in 1989 after Yes's Big Generator album. So this is sort of a continuation of that. If you like 80s Yes, you're definitely going to like this album. And produced by Bob Ezrin, who did, Pink Floyd The Wall, a lot of Kiss stuff, Alice Cooper. So check that one out, definitely. Gary Moore, Run for Cover. Gary Moore, more so known for being a blues guitarist, one of the greatest guitarists of all time, in my opinion. During the 80s, kind of went through a little bit of a pop phase himself, AOR, trying to get a little radio friendly there. And definitely this album has the slick production. Empty Rooms is a fantastic song. Check that one out. Definitely love having this one in the collection. Great. So, if you lasted in the video this long, let's do a deep dive now. Okay? Now we're going to get crazy and get to the albums in my collection that are just... This is beyond guilty pleasure stage. Now, these ones, if you really want to go down the rabbit hole and do a deep dive on arena rock stuff, I'll get into these really quick. So here we go. Joe Lynn Turner, former singer of Rainbow, Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. This came out in 1985. Very pop-friendly, radio-friendly, a lot of hooky tunes on here. Produced by Roy Thomas Baker, and features some of the guys that were actually in Rainbow. So it's sort of a continuation of the last Rainbow album, Bent Out of Shape, which came out in 1983. This band, Touch, don't know a lot about this band. I know they're on a Monsters of Rock compilation that I have, but definitely huge early arena rock. This is 79 or 80, I believe. But very good album. Very good. And very highly known in the arena rock genre there. Triumph, another band that may be considered prog, like Rush. But in the 80s, they definitely, in the mid-80s, this album, Sport of Kings, definitely went with the arena rock vibe, with songs like Tears in the Rain, Somebody's Out There, you know, big hooks, big production. Again, this one is definitely one to check out. Produced by Mike Klink, actually. Deep dive here. This band, some people would consider the band Kansas to be arena rock or AOR. Carry On Wayward Son, you know, obviously. The guy that sang on that song was a guy named Steve Walsh. And Steve Walsh left Kansas in the 80s and went on to form this band called Streets. And Streets was very keyboard heavy, you know, 80s rock guitar, arena rock to the max. This album is sort of the epitome, I believe, of AOR music. So, an 80s music. So check that one out. And then their follow-up, the last album they made, they only did two, was Crimes in Mind. Definitely check this one out if you're into arena rock. The song itself, Crimes in Mind, I love it. It's such a great song. I have to listen to it once in a while because it's so good. Another deep dive one here, a band called Shanghai, which formerly was a band called Spider, which featured Beau Hill. Now, Beau Hill would go on to be a huge music producer and produce a lot of these arena rock type bands. He was like the godfather of AOR. But also features Anton Fig on drums. Produced by Bruce Fairbairn, who produced Bon Jovi's Slippery When Wet. And a couple of mixes on this album, and engineering done by Bob Rock, who famous for Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood, the Metallica Black Album, but this is 1982, way before then, and pretty good album. A female vocalist on here, so you definitely get that Pat Benatar, Jefferson Starship kind of vibe on this one. Phenomena. Phenomena is a sort of a who's who sort of album, sort of like a supergroup kind of thing that featured Glenn Hughes from Deep Purple and Black Sabbath, Cozy Powell from Rainbow, Mel Gailey from Trapeze and Whitesnake. So just a lot of guys on this album. I think it was just a studio project. It wasn't really a band per se, but Still the Night is a great song on here. And check this one out if you can find it. Kind of hard to find, but go on YouTube, listen to it, check it out. We talked about this one earlier. Steve Perry, Street Talk, Oh Sherry. Obviously, like if you think of Rocky IV and Survivor and those 80s montage songs, Oh Sherry, Foolish Heart, those ones are definitely going to be on that top list of arena rock, AOR, power ballad songs of all time. Another band here that is definitely early AOR arena rock, obscure, is called New England. New England, this album came out in 1979. The reason I have this and figured it out and found it was the album is produced by Paul Stanley from Kiss, and produced and engineered also by Mike Stone. And I think they were, I think maybe they were managed by Bill Aucoin, Kiss's manager at the time. I can't remember, but definitely a lot of hooky stuff on here. Lots of keyboards if you're into that. Definitely check this one out. New England, great album. Another band, LaRue. I picked the wrong one here. I have two of them, but the other one, the one that came out in 1982, it has a staircase on it. I can't remember. I'll put it in the description, but definitely another a band that came out in the 70s, I believe, but much like the bands that came out in the 70s, started to shift towards the radio-friendly, big hit songs, synthesizer stuff that was going on in the 80s. Aerosmith did it. Ted Nugent did it. Many bands did it. Kiss did it. Everybody. Another one here, Mick Jones, founder of Foreigner, big arena rock AOR band, Foreigner. But this was his first solo album. Came out in 1989, I believe. Awesome songs on here. I'm so glad I bought this. I think I got it for like, it says here I got it for $2. And I decided to check it out. What you'll find in collecting vinyl is that when you look on the back of these albums, even if you've never heard it, you can say, well, wow, this guy produced it. This guy is writing songs on it. Whoa, look at the guys that play on this album. And that'll make you pick it up regardless of if you heard the songs or not. And 9 out of 10 times, they're pretty good. Great songs on here. This first song, Just Wanna Hold, I believe was a co-write with Mick Jagger, I believe. And then there's a song, Save Me Tonight, which also has Joe Lynn Turner on vocals on that. So awesome album from Mick Jones. Pick that one up. Another arena rock one, I think artist is Sammy Hagar. Pre-Van Halen. The albums, his Geffen albums like Three Lock Box, Standing Hampton, VOA, definitely have that arena rock Journey sort of vibe. If you like the Journey stuff, definitely check out those 80s Sammy Hagar albums. This one came out while he was in Van Halen. This one is just self-titled, Sammy Hagar. Eddie Van Halen is the co-producer and plays bass on this album. And a lot of great songs on here. When the Hammer Falls, Give to Live, Boys Night Out, Eagles Fly, huge 80s montage sort of arena rock power ballad. Check that one out, definitely. Another deep dive one here. Frehley's Comet, Ace Frehley from Kiss. This one came out in 1988, long after he had left Kiss. This is his second solo release in the 80s. And features a guy named Todd Howarth, the blonde guy right there. He has maybe half the album are his co-writes, and he sings like half the songs. And his songs on this album are arena rock to the max, AOR, power ballad, slick production, hooks for days to the max. So this one's actually being re-released soon, reissued soon on vinyl. So check this one out when that one comes out. Keep an eye out. Another band, huge on the progressive rock side, but also definitely arena rock, AOR, is Asia, Heat of the Moment, Only Time Will Tell. I got a few. I got their second album. I got the third one here is what people really, from what I've read, that really goes into the arena rock phase, is Astra here from 1986, I believe. Very good there. Super group. Very obscure one here. Orion the Hunter. Orion the Hunter, very obscure, is a band that was put together by, God, I hope I say his name right, Barry Goodrow, who was the one of the guitar players in Boston. It really helped bring that Boston sound to the band. on guitar. So this is his band post Boston, and features a lot of the guys that were in Boston on here. Also Fran Cosmo, who went on to sing on Boston stuff in the 90s, is the singer on here. But also Brad Delp, the singer from Boston, makes an appearance on here too. So if you like Boston, you will like this. It's kind of like Boston into the 80s. And having said that, here is Boston's Third Stage, 1986. Amanda, huge radio hit. But some other cool rock songs on here. We're Ready. Cool the Engines. A lot of cool songs on here. Really like that one. And we'll another very, very obscure here is a band called Balance. Early 80s. Balance is a band that was had Bob Kulick on guitar. Bob Kulick is the older brother of Bruce Kulick, who was in Kiss in the 1980s and 90s. Bob Kulick is known for having done a lot of ghost guitar playing, uncredited guitar playing on Kiss's biggest stuff in the 1970s, as well as playing on Paul Stanley's 1978 solo album. So he plays guitar on these two albums. They're fantastic, in my opinion. Great vocals, great production. Definitely check out Balance if you get a chance. And there's Bob Kulick there, the bald guy. And maybe I should do that. Maybe I should just have a mustache like that. No beard. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And that's about it for the vinyls. Just really quick, a couple ones I wanted to show on cassette because they're hard to find on vinyl. I have yet to find them, or maybe they're just way too high priced. Shadow King is a band that Lou Gramm, the singer of Foreigner, put together after he left Foreigner. So around the time that Mick Jones album I showed you came out, Lou Gramm was doing this with Vivian Campbell on guitar, who had just left Dio's band, and after this would go on to join Def Leppard and would be with Def Leppard to this day. So Shadow King, pretty good album. The Storm. The Storm is a band put together by ex-members of Journey. So Greg Raleigh, the keyboard player, I think Ross Valerie on bass, Steve Smith on drums. So definitely arena rock, radio friendly, big hooks, big keyboards, big vocals. The Storm, that's one you definitely want to check out. We talked about Bon Jovi, and this one definitely too I got to put in the mix. New Jersey for arena rock. Lay Your Hands on Me, Bad Medicine, I'll Be There for You, they're all there. Aerosmith Pump, I believe, is an arena rock staple, big one. Aerosmith maybe not known as being an AOR arena rock band, but they definitely went in that phase of the 80s and 90s. And they've even admitted to themselves that this is an arena rock album. So I'm going to put that one in the mix. And the last one I have here, controversial again, but I'm going to say it's an arena rock album. It rocks. It has big hooks, big production, big keyboards, is Billy Joel's Stormfront. You all know this one from We Didn't Start the Fire, but awesome songs on here. That's Not Her Style, Downeaster Alexa, I Go to Extremes, Stormfront, When in Rome. Awesome songs on here. Definitely pick this one up. I'm getting this one on vinyl. I had it, sold it, but now they made a cool reissue of it, so I'm going to pick that one up. So anyway, thanks for joining. That's a deep dive on arena rock, my guilty pleasure. Make sure you comment if there's anything I left out or ones that you think that you want to add to the mix. Definitely comment. You got any questions on any of these albums, please let me know in the comments. I will respond. Again, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow me on social media, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.